Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 2, entitled Strangers. First, let me say right off the bat that I really like this episode. I did. But I want to make that clear because I know some people are going to comment and say that they didn't like the episode because it was slow, or maybe in comparison to the first episode of this season that not as much happened. Look, that first episode was crazy. It was intense. So much happened that you can't expect the second episode to have just as much. But I feel like a good amount of stuff happened here. And not only that, the progression that we've made, the new character that we met, holy crap, there's a lot to talk about from tonight. First, I want to mention at the very beginning we see Rick talking to Tara. And I liked that they had this moment, at least for Rick to acknowledge the fact that he recognized her from being on the other side of the fence with the governor, and the fact that Glenn told him that she saved his life and vice versa. So, you know what? That's good enough for Rick, for her to stay with the group. I like that. There was no conflict, there was no awkward moment, and I even liked the fist bump that Tara gave him. Then Michonne, noticing that Michonne is missing her sword, I saw this meme that basically showed that Michonne didn't have her sword, that Carol never grabbed it, and Michonne is swordless. And that kind of sucks, because I'm not used to seeing Michonne without her sword. It's weird. When she went to kill that walker and she didn't have it on her, it was just like, crap, what are we going to do? How is she going to find another samurai sword like that? Now, something that completely took me by surprise was Sasha and Bob. When they kissed, I was kind of sitting there looking around like, what? Really? They're a thing now? And even Tyrese behind them sort of smiling and laughing. I'm like, and he's okay with it? Wow. All right. Fine, let's go with it. Right then, we meet this new character named Gabriel. He's a priest. And first meeting him, I had a big question mark on his character because the way that we meet him, he's on this rock, not really a mountain, but it's like a high level rock, and there's walkers grabbing at his feet. And my friend and I actually made a joke about how he's on this rock and he looks desperate to get away, but we're kind of sitting there like, dude, all you have to do is just like move your foot and just like get higher just a little bit. I don't know. He didn't really look like he was in that much trouble. But fine. Rick and his group come over. They help him. And that's when he's instantly sketchy. I mean, look, I know that this character is from the comics, but I've tried my best to stay away from comic book stuff, especially by this point. I know little stuff here and there, but I don't want to be spoiled, especially because I hear that Season 5 is being more connected to the comic book. So the least I know, the better. But I know his character is from the comics. I don't know if he's good or if he's bad. I can't tell with him. As far as the show goes, I can't tell if he's telling the truth. It's hard to believe. It's very hard to believe that apparently he's been on his own for 17 months. But he's never killed anybody. He's never killed a walker. That just, how do you survive for that long without having to do any of that? It's just, I don't really believe it. The fact that he has this abandoned church by himself that no one's really tried to break into. I mean, there was some scratches on the walls and window, sure, fine. But, I mean, it didn't seem like that hard of a place to break into. Again, how has it been protected without him killing anyone? How has no herd of walkers come through this place? How has he had all of that food by himself and not getting killed to go out to get stuff? It's just, again, I don't buy it. I really like the scene where Rick basically went to Carl and told him, you never have your guard down. You always, you have to be ready for anything. There's nothing here that should make you think that you're safe, ever. And I really like that. It's good advice. It might sound pessimistic, but it's how you have to think and act. And man, is Carl getting older. I mean, he's taller, his voice is deep, he's just like, wow. Man, I feel like I've seen this kid grow up on the show. Now, the group goes on a supply run with Gabriel, reluctant Gabriel, and seeing that sort of basement flooded with water and a bunch of walkers down there, the fact that they had to go down there just had me sort of tense the whole time, and them having to have those shelves up to block them off and killing them. And then when Gabriel just started to run away, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Is he really this scared of walkers? But then, of course, by the end of the episode, you see that picture, and I guess one of the walkers was, I don't know if it was his girlfriend or maybe just somebody that he knew from the church. So, sure, he got freaked out seeing what happened to her. I can totally understand that. And the one moment when a walker grabbed Bob and, like, brought him underwater, I said, holy fuck, Bob's dead. That's it. He's going to come back up, and he's either bit or worse. But no, they killed it. The walker itself was like almost no skin left. It was almost all bones. So that was pretty trippy. Then when they go back to the church, Carl finds this, somebody carved on the wall, "You'll burn for this." I don't know what that means. I don't know who wrote that, who's that directed to. I guess we'll find out. We need to have more moments of this. Rick and the baby just interacting with each other. Him holding the baby and talking to her. I feel like we didn't get a whole lot of that, obviously, from the prison because Rick was kind of crazy then, and it seemed like Daryl or Beth or anyone else was taking care of the baby. So, I don't know. It was quick, it was short, but it was enough to make me happy seeing Rick hold the baby. And by the way, I like the scene where Tara went up to Maggie and had to confess that she was with the governor because of what happened to Herschel and whatnot. And I like that Maggie forgave her instantly. Not even forgave her, she just said, look, you're a part of us now. I really enjoyed that. But I had to stop and think, has Maggie asked about her sister, like, once at all? You could say that maybe she has, and maybe Daryl said, I don't know, but I'm sure they would have showed that. So the fact that Maggie's kind of going all this time without ever wondering or asking about her sister is a little weird. Speaking of that, though, Carol was outside. They found this car, and she was trying to get it to work. I guess they got it to work. And then Daryl saw another car drive by. Apparently that was the same car that took Beth, which I didn't catch that. I was paying attention to the cross on the back of the window, and I thought maybe it was going to the church or connected to the church. I guess not. I guess it's where Beth is. So I'm glad somebody gives a shit about Beth. Then we see Bob leave because, and at first I thought he was being dumb, but then I quickly realized, well, he's an alcoholic. He can't be around them drinking what they're drinking. So, okay, he had to get away. He got a little too far from the church, if you ask me. He started to break down, and in retrospect, I think he was crying because he knew it was about to happen, like the actor knew, because then he gets attacked. And we even saw earlier that somebody was sort of in the woods, in the trees, watching them. So we see that it's a small group, but still people from Terminus that has survived. You see the main guy, I think, what's his name? Gareth, I think, something like that. Well, when he was talking to Bob and sort of going off about why they do what they do and how it's not their fault and they're victims, I get it. Those flashbacks last season definitely made me feel a little bad for them, but still, fuck them. I don't care what's really happened to them because that doesn't excuse what you're doing to innocent people. Sure, they think now that these people took their home and did all this stuff, but what were they about to do to them? Then when you pan out and see Bob's leg missing, I said, holy fuck. And it's funny because if you had told me a year ago that this was going to be Bob's fate, I would have said, who cares? Because I didn't like Bob last season, especially where his alcoholism caused that character in the first episode last season to get killed in that store. And just several things that was really annoying me about Bob. But I don't know what it is. After a while, by this point, maybe seeing him interact more with the other group, Sasha, and him talking to Rick a little bit, I warmed up to Bob. And I'm not saying I loved him, but I definitely liked him being there. I liked our group being intact. So seeing his leg missing made me go, well, fuck, either he's dead now, like he's gonna die, or even if they can save him, what are they gonna do with him? Most of his leg's missing. It's a lot more than Herschel's was. They can't carry him to Washington. So, yeah, it does not look good for Bob's character. All in all, like I said, I really, really enjoyed this episode. Just the tension building was perfect. Again, you don't need every episode to be action-packed and crazy explosions and tons of zombies. You can just have these characters in the dark with weird noises in the background, and that gets me every time. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you saw this episode too. What did you think of it? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later!